Are you shocked to learn that two countries can share a language, a history, even a border, yet live completely different realities? In the Horn of Africa, two flags fly over a people who share language and history, but their paths have sharply diverged. One flag, Somalia's, represents a nation still struggling with instability. The other, Somaliland's, stands for a self-declared state that has quietly built peace and order for over 30 years. Internationally, maps show one country, but in Somaliland, people live a different reality, their own elections, currency, and government. For a generation born after 1991, Somalia is a distant neighbor, not a homeland. The world debates Somaliland's status, torn between legal norms and the undeniable evidence of a functioning, independent state. Recent diplomatic moves and economic deals have thrust Somaliland's case into the global spotlight. Understanding this divergence is key to grasping the future of a region where global interests collide. This is going to blow your mind. Somaliland's dramatic split from Somalia isn't just a recent story, but one rooted in decades of division and struggle. While the south was Italian Somalia, the north was British Somaliland. In 1960, the north gained independence, then united with the south to form Somalia, but the union quickly soured. Decades of marginalization and brutal repression under Siad Barre, culminating in the Isaac genocide, shattered trust in the union. When Somalia collapsed in 1991, Somaliland's leaders chose not to fight for Mogadishu, but to withdraw and reclaim their brief independence. At a clan elders conference in Berbera, they declared Somaliland's sovereignty, seeking safety and self-determination. Unlike the South's chaos, Somaliland built peace through community-led reconciliation and a hybrid of clan and democratic governance. Its leaders argue they are restoring, not creating, a state, citing their brief 1960 independence as legal precedent. This narrative of restoration, not secession, underpins Somaliland's quest for recognition. I bet you didn't know just how unique Somaliland's government really is. It has a directly elected president, a constitution approved by referendum, and a bicameral parliament blending modern and traditional authority. The House of Elders, or Gurti, mediates disputes and maintains social cohesion, a stabilizing force absent in Mogadishu. Somaliland issues its own currency and passports, collects taxes, and runs its own security forces, services largely missing in southern Somalia. While elections have faced delays and clan politics can breed exclusion, Somaliland's institutions are self-funded and widely trusted. This internal legitimacy is its strongest argument for sovereignty. Despite flaws, Somaliland's self-reliance and order mark a profound difference from Somalia's internationally propped-up government. I don't think people understand just how much Berbera port is changing the game for Somaliland's economy. Once dormant, Berbera has been transformed by major UAE investment, expanding its capacity and linking it to Ethiopia via a new highway. The port's modernization has made it a key alternative to Djibouti, attracting trade and regional attention. In 2024, a deal with Ethiopia, trading sea access for a stake in Ethiopian Airlines, and a promise of recognition, sparked regional tensions. Berbera is now both an economic lifeline and a diplomatic lever, allowing Somaliland to bypass its unrecognized status. Unlike Somalia's aid-dependent economy, Somaliland is betting on trade and logistics to drive its future. The port is a symbol of Somaliland's economic autonomy and its bold integration into global commerce. Why are there not more people talking about how Somaliland has managed to stay an island of calm in one of the world's most turbulent regions? Its community-driven security system, rooted in clan cooperation, has kept major terrorist threats at bay, unlike the violence in southern Somalia. Public trust and grassroots intelligence make infiltration by groups like Al-Shabaab difficult. However, peace is fragile. Border disputes, especially in Seoul, have led to recent conflict and displacement. The rise of rival administrations in contested regions exposes the limits of Somaliland's control. Regional rivalries, especially Ethiopia's interest in Berbera, further complicate security. While safer than Somalia, Somaliland's stability is not guaranteed. Its unresolved territorial disputes remain the biggest threat to its long-term peace and recognition. I'm sure you've heard the news. Somaliland is making headlines as its quest for international recognition shakes up the Horn of Africa. In 2024-2025, Somaliland's push for recognition reached new heights. The Ethiopia deal forced the world to take notice, with U.S. conservatives and think tanks advocating for recognition as a counter to China. President Trump's administration showed new openness, fueling speculation despite official denials. Somaliland has also deepened ties with the UAE, Kenya, and the UK, hosting diplomatic missions that function as embassies in all but name. This strategy builds practical partnerships, eroding isolation without direct confrontation. Yet the African Union and Somalia, backed by Turkey and Egypt, fiercely oppose recognition. Somaliland gains ground through sectoral deals, but full recognition remains elusive. The debate has shifted, but the ultimate prize, a UN seat, remains out of reach. This is going to blow your mind. Somaliland stands at a crossroads, and its next move could change the fate of an entire region. The most likely is a managed status quo, de facto independence, deepening partnerships, but no formal recognition. A second scenario sees more countries signing sectoral deals, treating Somaliland as sovereign for trade or security, but not diplomatically. This pragmatic approach is already underway, offering economic benefits but legal ambiguity. The third, most disruptive path is formal recognition by a major power, triggering a diplomatic crisis and forcing the African Union and UN to respond. Each path carries risks: stability without resolution, economic growth without legitimacy, or recognition with regional backlash. Somaliland's fate depends on its diplomacy and the shifting interests of global powers. The choice will shape not just Somaliland, but the entire Horn of Africa. I bet you didn't know how much the fate of Somaliland could reshape the entire Horn of Africa. The gap between Somaliland and Somalia is real and consequential. Somaliland's bottom-up state building, local peace, and economic autonomy stand in stark contrast to Somalia's foreign-dependent institutions. Its people enjoy relative safety, accountable governance, and a sense of ownership, rare in the region. Somaliland's journey challenges the international system's rigid adherence to colonial borders and asks if effective governance should define statehood. As global powers vie for influence, Somaliland's stability and control of Berbera make it impossible to ignore. Recognizing Somaliland's difference is essential for a more stable Horn of Africa. The future, status quo, sectoral deals, or recognition, will hinge on acknowledging this reality. This is Horn Lens, bringing you the stories shaping the Horn of Africa. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And tell me in the comments, do you think Somaliland will finally be recognized?